Welcome back to my kitchen. Welcome back to Sewing Back. My name is Brandy and I'm glad you're here. So it is Monday night and well, it's not night yet. It's Monday afternoon. I got off from work and I have my menu planned out for this week based off of what's going to work with our family schedule, my work schedule, all the things, because we are a family that has one child still left in high school. He's in his senior year and he is on the varsity basketball team for his school. So it's basketball season, and so many nights in the school week and some on Saturdays. We don't have games on Sundays, which is nice. We have games. And the one thing I'm learning about the varsity games are they have usually a later start date and a later finish time. And they're wearing me out. But we're enjoying it. This is our last year, and we're just trying to enjoy all the moments of the year. I don't know how many of you are in the same season of life where you are finishing up the rearing of your children, particularly senior year. It is just full of all the bittersweet moments. So anyway, so it's Monday night. We need to eat dinner. And I had picked up, I don't know if any of you have seen this, I had picked this up. This is Joanna Gaines, the Magnolia Journal. This is her holiday recipe book, but it's like done like a magazine. But it has beautiful pictures. It's really thick paper. It's just a really nice book. It kind of reminds me of the Cook's Country. If you ever have gotten any of those old paper versions of their books, it's very similar. But I had picked this up because I wanted to try. Well, there was a couple recipes in here I wanted to try, but particularly there was one I wanted to try for Thanksgiving, which was, I don't even know if it's hers. I think she said it was her mother-in-law's sweet potato casserole recipe. And I did use this recipe for Thanksgiving, except I adapted it. Just like y'all know me, if you've been on the channel, I tend to tweak things just a little bit. The recipe called for cornflakes. And I used an ancient grain, I guess similar to cornflakes, except it didn't have sugar. So, what I found was that it made this a very tasty sweet potato casserole that was not overly sweet. The main sweet part were the marshmallows on top, but the rest of it, and I didn't go crazy with the marshmallows on top. But there's another recipe in here that I've been wanting to make, and I think it looks delicious. And it is a tortellini soup. This is the picture of it right here. Let's see, can you see that? And it does have a packet. It has a package of cheese tortellini that you can get fresh in your grocer. And so I did pick some of those up. So you need butter, onion, garlic, chicken broth. You need a can of fire roasted tomatoes drained, some Italian seasoning. You need the fresh cheese tortellinis. This is a 9-ounce package will do. I got the family package. You need 1 can of cannellini beans, rinsed and drained, 6 cups of fresh spinach. You need 2 tablespoons of chopped fresh parsley, 2 tablespoons of chopped fresh basil. You want salt and pepper to taste. You need juice of half of a lemon. It says that's the equivalent of 1 1/2 tablespoon. And then it says you're gonna want 1 cup of shaved Parmesan cheese or the Parmesan crisp to put in it as a topper, or you could use a crusty bread, a French bread. So I am making a quick crusty bread, and so what you saw me doing is I am letting my yeast. I have 1 1/4 cup of warm water. You don't want to get it over, if you want it around 100 degrees, you don't want to go above 110 or you'll kill your yeast. I have 2 1/4 teaspoons of fast active yeast and 1 teaspoon of sugar, because it kind of helps feed the yeast and it helps you get nice texture in your bread. And so, or at least that's what I found. So I'm letting this sit for about 15 minutes. And then once that has had a few minutes to get happy, then I will use my Ankersham to knead my bread for me. And I'm just going to be using an all-purpose einkorn and an all-purpose bread flour. So I kind of do a mix of both. You could also do part freshly milled and then an all-purpose bread flour too, if you'd like, or you could use the all-purpose einkorn. I'm just trying, this is the last of the all-purpose einkorn that I bought that needs to be gone, and so I'm just using it every place I can. And I'll put that in here with a little salt and let it go, and then you just let it proof at room temperature for a couple hours, and then you bake it in your oven, in a Dutch oven. And it's kind of a tacky bread. It's real rustic, but it's really delicious. Now, I a lot of times will cheat, and I will put some sourdough in place of some of the flour to sour it, to do a quick sour. I don't know if I'll do that. I did feed my sourdough this morning before I went to work, but I have in a lot of ways neglected my sourdough starter. It is hard to do all that and work outside the home, and I'm in no way saying that working inside the home is not hard work as well. I've done that, been there, done that. And it's just a different kind of work. But when you're in your home, you can do things, leave things, come back to things. When you're not at home because you're in an office job or out and about job that's not at home, you can't necessarily do something and come back to it in an hour or two. So I have to say that my sourdough adventures have been a little slow. So my sourdough starter hasn't been getting as much use, and honestly what I'm trying to do is get it really healthy again, and then I need to start storing it in the refrigerator because I'm just not using it like I was prior to going back into outside the homework, and so that's kind of my plan going forward. So you can do things like that if you're trying to add sourdough. Essentially, what I have done that works is if you're doing crusty breads, any kind of savory type bread like that, usually 1 cup of sourdough in place of 1 cup of flour works for most things, or at least it does where I live. I don't know if altitude or any of that kind of stuff could change that, but it works well here. If I'm doing like a sweet bread, like if I were going to do a sourdough pumpkin bread or sourdough banana bread, I would probably take away 1/2 cup of flour and only add 1/2 cup of the sourdough. So and a lot of that is just more because a lot of the sweetbreads are already a little bit wetter. So if you overdo it with the sourdough, because sourdough starter is going to be wet, compared to just flour, it can become too wet and harder to get it to, like, it'll want to cook up on the outside and stay raw on the inside. That's just what I have found. So if you've had that or you found a solution that works better, tell me about it in the comments. So what we're going to do is I'm going to make up my crusty bread, and then we are going to make this tortellini soup. Got a tablespoon of salted butter in my pan. We're going to turn this on medium-high heat. And as this melts down, we're going to put in, I have a small onion here chopped up, and I did about 4 cloves of garlic. And so we're going to cook these until they're translucent and soft. Our onion and garlic and Italian seasoning cooked till they're translucent in our pan here. And so now we're going to add our stock. You need 6 cups of chicken stock. I'm actually going to do my own homemade bone broth. And so I'm doing, this is 4 cups, this is 32 ounces, a quart of my chicken bone broth, and then I'm going to use, my other 2 cups are going to be my turkey broth. You can totally mix broths. And I'm going to telling you, I love these Azure standard jars and the superb lids. I hope you heard that seal. That's amazing. So this one is a ball can. Okay, the other one was an Azure, and this one's a ball. And I don't know if you could hear the difference. And this was I think this one was a ball lid. Yeah, because it doesn't say superb. Superb, they say superb on them. So this was all ball. I don't know what it is, but these Azure ones, and they just started making the pints now. They didn't have the regular mouth pints, but they do now. So we're going to add this in, and we're going to add our tomato. This is fire roasted diced tomatoes with garlic. If you could, sometimes you can find these with basil. That would be a good one too, because I'm fixing to put some fresh basil in here at the end. So we just want to bring this up to a boil, and once it comes up to a boil, then we're going to add in our beans, which are just, I have 1 can, and we're going to add in our tortellini. Okay guys, I've got it up to a boil. We're going to put in our cheese tortellini. It says on these that you can actually freeze them. So if you catch a snag a sale on them, I mean, read it to make sure, but it says you can freeze them. These were on sale, that's why I got the bigger one. So we're gonna put in our tortellini. Our beans are in there. Salt, I did salt and pepper. And then we're gonna put in our spinach. And I just kind of did a rough chop of the spinach. And it says the tortellini takes about 5 minutes. My bread is just about done. And then this is 2 tablespoons of chopped parsley and 2 tablespoons of chopped basil. I'm going to get that in here as well. And this is the soup. I think you could probably do like a chicken sausage in here if you wanted to. But I'm just excited. And it says this tortellini had 12 grams of protein per serving. So yeah. that's it. I'm gonna let it finish cooking. Oh, and you have to, the juice of 1 lemon. So I already took the seeds out. And the lemon should brighten it up, I guess. Okay guys, it's really hot, but I'm gonna try to do a taste test. See what I think. I gotta blow it for a minute because can you see all the steam coming off? It smells really fresh. Like, I mean, just, this would be one I would want to make again when the garden was in full swing and use some fresh tomatoes and things like that. I think would be really good. Oh, I like that. It's not heavy, even with the cheese that are in the tortellini. Oh, and I forgot to put, I was supposed to put some Parmesan cheese. Put some Parmesan cheese on it. I love all the vegetables, all the spinach. That is so good. That's a winner. So, and my bread is hot. So this rose about an hour and 15 minutes. That was it. And I didn't really need it or anything. I just stuck it in. The second rise was in the oven. I put it on parchment paper. I do it in my Dutch oven. I preheat the Dutch oven with inside the oven at 425. And once my oven is preheated and the pan is hot, I put this in with the parchment paper, and I actually put ice cubes. I put about 3 or 4 ice cubes under the parchment paper because it helps get a nice rise when you have your lid on and helps it to puff up. And you also, I have found it eliminates burning the bottom. And so I've been doing that for quite a while now. I heard that on a podcast and it works. So, well, you know, if it works, it works. And so, but when you go to put it in the oven, you turn your oven to 400. You just turn it to 425 to get the pan hot and the oven really hot. You do it with the lid on for 30 minutes. You take the lid off and you let it finish out for 15 minutes at the same temperature at 400 degrees. And that's a nice, easy, crusty bread. I did say I wasn't gonna put my sour stuff in it, but when I checked my sourdough, it was nice and elastic. And so I went ahead and put some sourdough in it. Anyway, some muffins. It has a little bit of everything. It is a nice one. It is $12.99, but like I said, it's high quality, it's nice. This is not flimsy paper, it's like thick paper. The pictures are beautiful. It's really like a magazine cookbook or something. But anyway, I hope you'll give that a try. Or if you have made this differently, like maybe you've added some chicken sausage or something like that, tell us about it in the comments. I appreciate you being here, and I hope you, like I said, I hope you'll give this a try, either one or both. And with that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.